Hi, this is Bob Fossil. Slightly different video this time. Rather than showing you stuff, features that will be possibly in the next version, I thought I'd do some videos which explain the existing functionality of the browser and gave you some idea of what you can do with the browser. I know there's a manual, but as I say, I thought maybe some YouTube videos might help get some of the features across a bit better than just from reading the text file included with the browser. So to start off with a bit of a full disclosure, I'm capturing this on an emulator. I'm using Fuse on my KDE Linux desktop. I've also modified Fuse slightly so I can activate the NMI and hard reset from the keyboard, so I can, if I have to do that during this video, it's not going to pop up UI, so it'll more keep the illusion that I'm actually doing this on a Spectrum when I'm not really doing it on a Spectrum. Doing it through the emulator just to get slightly better video quality, because I won't be needing any specific functionality, so when I use a the video capture is not brilliant, so this will give us clearer picture, so hopefully it might be easier to see what's going on. So in this first video I'm looking at the sort of how we get around the browser and how we do that. So if I just pop the NMI browser, so we've got fundamentally we've got these thing called browser keys, which are by default mapped to cursor up, cursor down, so that basically moves the selection down and up. If I go into a folder that's got more files that are actually visible, we can scroll down and up, but we can also use cursor right to go down by a screen and cursor left to go back up a screen. So if I quit out of there and go and run the browse cfg.command, press cursor right to change to the input category. So there's the keys, those are the ASCII characters for the cursor up, cursor down, cursor left, cursor right and select. If we wanted to use the Kempson joystick, we use cursor down to move the arrow, that shows us where we are, and then press enter. That's a toggle, so that would then, if we save that would now basically drive the cursor down, left, right and select through the Kempson up, down, left, right and fire. So we don't want to do that, so I will turn that off. So if we press enter, then when the question marks appear, if we press Q, that then puts the ASCII character in for Q, and then if we do that for A, O, P and M, that would give us the standard Spectrum QAOP M. But so I'm quite happy with the cursor key, so if you did want to do that, if you press the S key, that will do save and exit, but we're just going to press X. We'll come out of that and then we'll go back into the NMI browser, and as you see we're back to cursor up, cursor down. Just do what we were doing before. If you press Cap Shift and A, that will take you to the last file, and Cap Shift and Q will take you to the first file. You can always get back to the parent directory by selecting the ... That's the MS-DOS. If you do CD ... that will take you back. You can also press the delete key, that will take you back a folder, and you can also do Cap Shift P, that will take you back a folder. So that's the sort of the basic navigation keys. If we go to a folder with games in. If we go down to here, as you can see, it's quite a large folder, and there's the working prompt is shown for quite some time. As you see down the bottom, they've got 300, so we've got nearly 400 files in here. So once we're in it, it's the speed's not too bad, but that initial getting in, it takes about 4 seconds to read in all the files and sort the files out. But what we can do is we can use a function called folder cache, which basically, now we've got that read into memory. If I press Cap Shift and Z, you now get the message that says cached, bit of a think, and then we've now got a star displayed in the top right corner. What does that mean then? So if we now go back out the folder and then back in, that 4-second delay has now been replaced. It's about under a second, and then we've got the entire files listed and it's all sorted. There is a limitation with the folder caching, is that now that folder, because it's got the cache in it, if you added files into that folder, they wouldn't be seen until you updated the cache. You can always update the cache. If you press Cap Shift and Z again, that will basically delete the current cache file and recache. There's a bit of a delay, and then it will show you where you are. So really, this feature is useful for folders that the content's not changing a lot. So if you've got your games sort of divided up into folders, it might be useful to use a folder cache now, especially if you've got a large folder. You can also press symbol Shift and Z. That will remove the folder caching. So say we've got the deleted messages come, and the star has now been removed from the top right corner. So that would mean now that if we copied new files into this folder, the browser would see them. But then if we go back out and go back in, we're going to get that 4-second delay while it processes the nearly 400 files in that folder. So that's the folder caching feature. I think the last thing I want to show in this video is the full screen view. What that does is that basically tries to display certain file types as with the screen data. So for things snapshot files or Z80 files or tap files, it tries to extract the screen image. So you get like a very sort of rudimentary sort of cover flow effect. So if I just navigate out of this folder, back up to my snapshots folder. So we've got a couple of snapshots there. We've got a couple of snap files, which is the 128K. That's what the divMMC saves, my browser saves, and we've got a couple of Z80 files. So at the moment we just got the normal standard text view. If I go onto there and do symbol Shift F, we're now in a kind of a full screen view. So whenever the browser can't detect what the file is, it will draw the file name at the bottom of the screen. But if we cursor down, we've got the screenshot from the Batty snap file. Again for Bomb Jack, that was Chase HQ, Cobra, Commando. That's from I think Driving Through Time or Driving the History. The snapshot saving didn't work properly that because it was doing some interesting things with the paging that was breaking the snapshot saving with my browsers. I think that's fixed now in the it will be fixed in version 19. Jack the Nipper, Manic Miner, and Wear Time. And then if you press symbol Shift F again, be back where you are. The other thing you can do when you're in that mode is you can do Control F on that and then press Enter. snapshot will actually start. So you can use it to sort of easy way to sort of select your games in that full screen view. So just to show how the tap works with tap files. So again, if we start at the top of this, if we just that's where we've got basically quite a list of a few games there. Back up to the top, if I do Control F, we've got, it shows you the directories because it doesn't preview those. But what it tries to do is it tries to search inside the tap file for a loading screen. So a loading screen is usually starts at address 16384 and is 6912 bytes. So it will try and find a block that matches that in the tap file and it will show it on the screen. So it's got some support for compressed screens. So there's if it recognises that the code block is a compressed screen, that's why there's a bit of delay when it was showing the Astro Ball screen. It will actually unpack the screen, so you can still see the screen rather than the compressed data. So yeah, there's Chucky Egg and Cobra. It didn't recognise the screens. Most of the time, it'll have a good try at getting the screen from the file. But say it can't work in every situation because not all games have loading screens. That's an amazing loading screen, that is. Jet Set Willy is basically the loading screen. Jet Set Willy is some flashing text from a basic file, so there's not really a loading screen as such. But as you can see, a bit of a bad patch there. I think mine again, that's a bit of an odd screen because it's just the flashing attributes. But yeah. And again, if you press enter, we'll start the game. So yeah, that's basically the simple operation of the browser. You know, getting around. So you can you've got the various keys to move you between the files, and you've got the dots at the top to move you back. You've got things like the folder caching to speed up browsing on folders with quite a few files inside it. And then you've also got alternative ways of viewing the files with the full screen view. So I think I'll leave it there for this episode. There are some other things I'd like to cover in future episodes, things like the find mode in browser and just a bit of a look at the plugin system, because I think that's one of the more powerful aspects of the browser is the ability to sort of handle multiple file types with the plugin systems on the divMMC hardware. But until then, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video. Bye.